Here we go. We are on the warm side of things right now, but our roller coaster ride for the first full week of April is about to begin. A big dip tonight as temperatures go below freezing. We'll track them.
Several houses catch fire on the same street in a Lexington neighborhood. We're live with the breaking details now at 4. And the bodies of 2 victims of the Brussels terrorist attacks are back in the bluegrass. We'll show you their heroes welcome.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
A busy afternoon for Lexington firefighters who are working several house fires in the same neighborhood. The fire started just before 2 this afternoon at a home on Smuggler's Notch Drive off Liberty Road. Another home is damaged. Victor Puente is there live with our top story at 4. Victor?
Well, firefighters are still out here, still a very busy, active scene. You can see them behind me doing some overhaul. You can also see those homes behind me. We're told it started at the one on the left, but pretty much as soon as it started, it spread to the home on the right. Firefighters tell us a man was at the home where the fire started. They say he smelled smoke and ran outside, saw the fence behind his home on fire. That then spread to another home. That's where 2 dogs were rescued by neighbors. They tell us they saw the smoke and didn't hear sirens. They realized that they were getting here before the fire department, so they checked to see if anyone was inside. Tell us the front door was unlocked and they could hear dogs barking. They ran inside and found one of the dogs in a cage. They got him out, then went back for the second. They say that fire was spreading at a rapid pace.
I could already see the smoke coming down from the top stairs. So when we ran in to get the first dog out of the bathroom or the laundry room, by the time we got in for the second dog, it had already come down into the first floor. So it was coming very quick.
The owner of that home told us that she had just ran out to Walmart right before the fire started. Now, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. The neighbors tell us that fence where the fire started, there is a grill. Firefighters told us that that is one possibility they're looking at. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
And a Lexington police detective who went into that second home was checked out at the scene for smoke inhalation. The first full week of April is full of ups and downs in the weather. Here's a live look at one of our drop cams in downtown Lexington, where it's turned into a nice afternoon with temperatures pushing 70 degrees. But we are in for a very cold night with lows in the 20s. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has a first look at the forecast. Jim?
Yeah, we're going to take another dip as a frontal boundary drops all the way through Kentucky through the rest of the day here. Watch some showers, and it still is across parts of southern and eastern Kentucky. Now we wait for the cooler air, and you can see off in the distance we're looking toward the south, and there's a lot more cloud cover showing up, so our skies, in the northern skies at least, will start to clear up. 67 though right now in Lexington. That cold air hasn't caught up just yet. Very pleasant with winds still rolling in here around 15 miles per hour. Look at some of the other temperatures. 66 in Richmond, 73 right now in London, but look to the north. Look at Covington, already down to 52 degrees, Maysville at 61. So you see that cooler air mass is starting to ooze into parts of Kentucky and will eventually run the show for us here as we advance. There you see some of the showers from Somerset all the way into parts of West Virginia and beyond. Very hit and miss in nature for us, at least at this point. Here's the focus of the forecast. You are about to climb aboard the April Express, and let me tell you what, it's got a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and even got a couple of loops in there. The loop, Jennifer, being in the form of a few flakes of snow that could come flying at us by the time Keeneland spring meet begins. What a ride. We'll track all of it coming up.
The bodies of a Lexington native and her husband killed in last month's terror attacks in Brussels have arrived home. Lexington police and the Patriot Guard were there as a plane carrying Stephanie and Justin Shults arrived at Bluegrass Airport from Dover Air Force Base. They were killed 2 weeks ago tomorrow when bombs exploded at the Brussels airport. The Patriot Guard escorted their bodies to Kerr Brothers Funeral Home, where their families are working on funeral arrangements. You'll hear from Stephanie Shults' aunt on WKYT News at 5. Police have opened a death investigation into a woman's body found after a fire. That fire swept through townhouses on Watson Road in Adair County. It destroyed the homes of 4 families. The woman was found dead after the fire was put out. Investigators say the woman did not live there. Police say the fire started in a car parked in the carport and spread to the apartments. We're in Adair County with the latest on WKYT News at 5:30. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott is in the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. A man is in jail this afternoon accused in a deadly hit and run. Matthew Warner is charged with leaving the scene of an accident and evidence tampering. The Mercer County Sheriff's Office says Warner hit Heather Lawrence as she walked along US 127 early Sunday morning. The sheriff tells us Warner later abandoned the truck and had someone reported stolen to Harrodsburg police.
I've already been approached this morning from folks that knew both the victim's family and Mr. Warner's family, and people are concerned both ways. I mean, just in small communities, when you have something like this happen, it affects a lot of folks in a lot of ways.
Lawrence's husband says she walked out of the house after a fight and he found her lying in the road shortly after. The couple has 4 children. We'll have more on the deadly hit and run ahead on WKYT News at 5. A man accused of killing 5 people, including an unborn child, pled not guilty this morning. Police say Jason Gibson was high on drugs when he crashed into a car with all of the victims inside it on the Hal Rogers Parkway in Clay County last December. A grand jury indicted Gibson for the crash last month. More than a dozen family members of the victims were in the courtroom for today's hearing. And students and staff at a Central Kentucky elementary school are remembering a teacher who died over spring break. Joyce Hall died last Tuesday, days after developing flu-like symptoms. Hall worked at Stanton Elementary in Powell County as the Family Resource Center director. The district provided the school with a grief dog today. The dog visited classrooms to help calm students. We'll have more on how Hall is being remembered ahead on WKYT News at 5:30. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to a story making headlines across the nation at 4. Amtrak's busy Northeast corridor is back open one day after a deadly crash south of Philadelphia. Although passengers are being told to expect delays. A train bound for Georgia hit equipment on the track yesterday, killing 2 workers and injuring dozens of passengers. Don Champion has the latest.
An Amtrak train rode through Chester, Pennsylvania Monday morning while investigators continued to look into Sunday's deadly derailment. The train that crashed was going from New York to Georgia when it hit this backhoe that was on the tracks south of Philadelphia.
And all you could see was a lot of dirt and debris flying past the train, and then there was a couple of sort of like fire flashes.
Images from inside the first car of the train show the heavy damage and blown out windows. The collision killed 2 Amtrak workers on the backhoe and injured more than 30 passengers. Workers removed the damaged train overnight, but investigators are still on the scene. They're trying to figure out why the heavy equipment was on the track in the first place.
We will be looking at mechanical, operations, signal, track, human performance, and survival factors.
Sunday's accident comes less than a year after 8 people were killed and more than 200 injured when an Amtrak train derailed in Philadelphia. The cause of that crash is still under investigation, although investigators have said speed was a factor. Don Champion, CBS News, Chester, Pennsylvania.
NTSB investigators recovered the train's event data recorder as well as video from the train's cameras. They were sent to Washington, D.C. for analysis. With only 4 months until the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, officials say half of the tickets are still available. That begins today's WKYT Money Watch. Brazil's sports minister says they're looking for ways to boost ticket sales. Right now, Brazil is in the midst of a political upheaval with massive protests as lawmakers consider a request to impeach the president. There's also concern Brazil won't be able to attract tourists to the games over fears about high crime rates and terrorism. Brazil plans to use twice as many security agents as were used during the games in London in 2012. And there are concerns about the mosquito-borne Zika virus. And some have lobbied for the games to be postponed. Brazilian officials are against the idea. Alaska Air is reportedly close to a deal to buy Virgin American for more than $2 billion, outbidding rival JetBlue. The merger would let Alaska expand into hubs such as San Francisco and Los Angeles. The deal would need regulatory approval. Airline traveler complaints are at the highest level since 2000, jumping 34% since last year. On-time arrivals increased 3.7%, the number of lost bags dropped 10%, and the number of passengers bumped off oversold flights dropped 17%. Complaints surged over delayed and canceled flights, with the most complaints filed against Spirit Airlines. If you're looking for a job you love, you may want to head to eHarmony. The dating site has launched its new website, elevatedcareers.com, with the goal of matching people to jobs they love. The company claims the algorithm to find your compatible job is very similar to what's used in their love matches. eHarmony says it's matched more than 2 million married couples. A taxi drivers union has launched a new luxury service in Mexico. Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Mercedes-Benz cars can be rented for private rides in Cancun through a startup called I Want Exotic Taxis. The union is one of the most powerful in Mexico and has been criticized for overpricing. The service can be ordered through an app. It hopes to get a jump start on other app-based taxi services, such as Uber, which is currently not allowed to operate in the Mexican resort city. It's time for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. There's new hope for patients with high cholesterol and an intolerance to cholesterol-lowering drugs. Another drug may be able to help. According to researchers at Cleveland Clinic, the drug evolocumab may be more effective for hard-to-treat patients with high cholesterol. A new study paints a grim picture for those caring for loved ones with Alzheimer's disease. Researchers say people are making uncomfortable sacrifices to get by. And as Seth Kovar explains, in many cases, some are even going hungry to pay the bills.
The cost of Alzheimer's care in the United States is expected to be a staggering $236 billion in 2016. As the cost of care skyrockets, a new report finds many Americans would be unprepared financially if a loved one were to be diagnosed. And a disturbing pattern is emerging of people sacrificing food, college educations, and their own medical care to pay for someone's Alzheimer's treatments. The Alzheimer's Association surveyed 3,500 adults who provide care or money to someone suffering with the disease. Researchers found 30% of those in the study thought they had purchased long-term health insurance, but in reality, only 3% had what they needed. Alzheimer's Association spokespeople also say there's a sense people think Medicare will handle the care, when in reality, federal assistance is highly limited. Experts say there are some things people who are caring for a patient can do, such as educate themselves about resources in their community. That includes adult daycare centers, Meals on Wheels programs, or homemaker services from the Department of Aging. For today's Health Minute, I'm Seth Kovar.
If you're trying to get pregnant, a new study finds you may need to lay off the sunscreen. Some ingredients in sunscreen may affect sperm cells' abilities to swim. Scientists tested UV filters that are used in sunscreen. Some work as endocrine blockers, which may affect sperm motility. The findings are significant enough that the study's lead investigator has now called for clinical studies. Old Navy launched stain-resistant white jeans that claim to repel everything from coffee to ketchup using Stay White denim technology. But do they work? Cosmopolitan tested them out and says for the most part they do, especially when it comes to soda and red wine.